Hey, hi, howdy, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Zenith. We are a Dungeons and Dragons 5th Edition actual play live stream, and we're happy to play some D&D with you all. My name is Alex. I will be our GM for tonight, and we're just going to quickly run around, introduce ourselves, have a couple quick announcements, and then we can hop straight into our game. As I said, I am Alex, and someone else should probably start talking because I got nothing. Got a nose
Hi,
goes from
it's
Seth.
Mozz.
Yo,
Hi,
Maz,
I'm
I'm
Mozz.
new. No, please, Maz, please go first. I'm so sorry. I should not have interrupted. I
You're
was gonna
good.
try to
You're
take
good.
that
No,
bullet
you're
for you.
fine.
Run with it. You've
No,
got this.
I was going to, and then I saw that, and I was like, that's perfect. Hi, I'm Mozz. You can find me everywhere. It's Mozzarella, but right now I'm going to be playing Zahir or Kamar. Currently, Zahir, he, him pronouns. Me personally, I have she, they pronouns. But hi, everyone.
I do feel like I do need to go next. Hi, I'm Seth. I'll be playing Vesper, one of our assassins. And if you see a little tiny Cheeto colored slash Dorito in the background, that's Oliver. If you see a lighter colored Dorito on me, that is Finn, and they may also be joining us.
And hi, everybody. If you see a Dorito on me, it's not supposed to be there. Let me know. I am Derek Sword. I am so very happy to be here. Hi. You see him pronouns. I am the sword half of Sword and Key, and this is the first time, I think, in a year, maybe more, that I've streamed as a player and not just a GM. So thank you so much, Alex, for giving me the opportunity to be here. I'm very excited to play in this game, a game that has no shortage of drama. And through my rewatches, I literally took off work early for this, 2 weeks in a row now, or 2 weeks in a row next week. But I told my boss; she was very happy. But through my rewatches on YouTube, has given me like no shortage of anxiety. So I'm very very excited to see where this goes. Let's do this.
All right, excellent. Before we hop in, just a quick couple of announcements. So first, Zenith is raising money for the Palestine Children's Relief Fund in lieu of any sort of financial remuneration for us as part of the incentive program that we have. You can see the details of our incentive program with exclamation mark donate, I believe, in chat. And so the PCRF, the organization we are raising money for, provides medical care and humanitarian aid to children in the Palestine Levant area. And they've been doing this for around 30 years at this point. And so by donating, not only do you get to see cool stuff happen in the session, you get to provide bonuses and extra lives, so to speak, for the players and their dice rolls. But you can also help a very important mission in out in the meat spaces, so to speak. Um, Additionally, before we begin tonight's session, I want to just briefly touch on the fact that like our story in this D&D campaign is a story of revolution and resistance, and that resonates with real world events that we are all still processing. And so while we explore these themes of power and resistance and change, I just want to iterate that this is a space for collaborative storytelling. We're not here to prescribe real world solution. We're not here to prescribe solutions to real world problems. I know my words. We're just exploring a particularly resonant story in a Dungeons and Dragons game. And finally, as part of reaching our $650 goal for donation to the PCRF, we are having a giveaway. So if you do, I believe it's exclamation mark pain in chat, you can join the giveaway to potentially win some hashtag pain. You can potentially join the giveaway to win some fine Friday afternoon tea. Um, and I believe that is it. So let me pull up my notes somewhere. Perfect. All right. Allow me to share with you a perspective. What does it mean to witness a miracle that you don't believe in? Across Zenith, the faithful prepare for their divine visitor, while the skeptical find themselves swept up in the tide of belief. They watch their neighbors drape white cloth like festival garlands. The temple incense hangs in the air, just a little too thick. Everyone in the city can hear the bells that ring with a fervor beyond mere ritual. The city itself seems to hold its breath. The streets are unnaturally still. The air is heavy with anticipation. The believers speak of feeling a divine presence, a pressure on their souls. The doubters mutter of shared delusion, the power of magic and collective expectation. They ground themselves in the mundane, the tick of a watch, the count of breaths, the solidity of cobblestones beneath their feet, yet they still find themselves drawn to the temple, pulled by the oldest of human needs, that to see for themselves. And what happens when the impossible sees back? When the impossible descends in wheels of fire and eyes of light, undeniable and terrible in radiance. In that moment, carefully cultivated skepticism shatters, and doubt turns to dread. Perhaps this is why the scriptures begin with fear not. Not to bolster the faithful, but to comfort the apostate. Because this is how doubt becomes terror. The three of you find yourselves in a large courtyard, a large square outside of the city's largest temple, the House of Reason, dedicated to the god Enuma Elish. In mere minutes, the angel of the presence, the divine messenger, deity incarnate, will descend upon the city. And you and a large amount of the rest of the city have all gathered here to witness. As the crowd continues to mill about, have their last few conversations before the ceremony starts. Is it pronounced Rannoch?
Yes, it is Rannoch, indeed.
Perfect. Rannoch, you are here as part of essentially an infernal guard of sorts. Your client, the esteemed Khalil Khan, is in attendance at this ceremony, along with other miscellaneous devils, mages, and powerful folks. You know, plenty of people want this man dead, but that's normal in your business. What do you do as this ceremony begins? Because you're not from around these parts, so seeing everybody preparing to worship this god figure must all be very strange.
Yeah, it's been some time, I would say, since Rannoch walked the streets of Zenith. He wasn't always being of hell. He himself, he is a black dragonborn, but one that has been reshaped by his job, as we'll put it, for quite some time. As he has these flecks of gold all speckled into his horns, into his scales. It gives him almost an ombre look from time to time. And when you look close enough, you might realize that they are actual bits of gold that have been almost flaked into him over the, well, what is time in hell. Just bits of golden rain, sleet, hail. But he's used to it now, and also in his position, a level of presentation is important. As you know, his job is a painkiller. As he has been rising through the ranks, it's important that you look your best at all times, because who knows if today is the day that you die, and you should always look best for your own funeral. Today is boring. Today is one of ceremony and standing around. It's not marching to battle, it's not charging towards your enemies, it's not tasting blood on your teeth. It's talking. And so as he stands there in his armor that he has cobbled together from both the forges of hell and the enemies he's taken it off of, and his massive executioner's sword that he carries, he mostly just stands at attention, eyes going back and forth, just waiting for literally anything to happen.
All right, excellent. As you All right, yeah, as you wait for anything to happen, at least in the immediate, nothing in particular. People continue to just kind of prepare spiritually for whatever value that is to you. Sorry, I'm juggling some shit over here.
No, you're fine. I do want to ask, like, this is this is a spiritual thing. This is you know, a god coming like descending.
Mhm.
I think he also feels a little out of place. You know, I think any interactions he's had with anything considered divine in the past hasn't really gone well. So there might be a bit of anxiety or anticipation to that. A bit of wondering, like, why are we here? Because he's not the only, like, held servant here, right?
Yep, absolutely. I mean, your boss here is he's human, but he's affiliated with the Hells and the Infernal.
Right. Okay. He's not. He's struggling to not lean over to, like, whether it's a chain devil, bone devil, whatever is next to him, and just go, like, why are we here? Like, that he's holding it as best as he can, but he's definitely thinking, like, if any of these bastards happen to be telepathic, I hope they can pick up on the fact that I am, like, anyone, if anyone can hear this, what the fuck?
Yeah. And Zahir, Vesper, what's it like for you as you prepare for this?
He says Zahir's not a prayer. He's not a man who prays. But he starts the day with 2 prayers and two names. And he wishes them a good morning, and sees their eyes in his face, like in his mind. And he would see, like, the rising of, like, this day, this start, as a way to, like, wish more mornings for them, even if it's not for him. And, like, close his eyes and just, like, hold the necklace that he's had for his daughter, and just, like, clutch it really hard, wishing that she would know it or feel it, even if she doesn't recognize him. Anyway, but he will get prepared. I feel like this would be something planned with Vesper and the group, on what they would need and what they would need to do. So if there's something that they had, like, agreed on to do, like, okay, we should get weaponry plans, things like that, that's what he'll set out his day to do. Nothing else matters. Breakfast is minimal. Everything else is just secondary choices to what needs to be done as the group comes together. So they will go to where everyone is, like, congregating together, or forming, like, the next decision.
And Vesper is one of the faithful. What's this experience like for you?
I don't mean this in a way that takes away, like, the impact and the import, but this is very, like, this is mundane in the same way that, like Easter and Christmas are mundane to you know, our nation's religious majority. It's just like it's this big, super important thing, but, like, we do it every year. Kind of know what we're looking forward to in terms of like, he knows to, like, be on time to see his parents, and, like, he's probably going to be spending most of the day with his parents and with Grace. And this is just part of that larger ceremony,
All right.
essentially.
Yeah. Okay. Eventually, you all begin to hear bells. Not particularly unusual, until you realize that these are not coming from the turrets, the parapets above you. This is just out in the ether. You're not even sure whether or not you hear this through your ears or it resonates in your mind. As this begins to happen, everyone sort of falls into these neat little sort of blocks, these sections of crowd, leaving space to essentially leave from the front doors of the temple through all these people. At this point, you all roughly know the drill. The lights get weird. People have religious experience. You begin to connect with the people around you. Something that contains the people around you. It's unclear. There are a million different interpretations. There's some rumbling from inside the temple, and then the angel departs. That's how this shit goes. And so as you hear the bells begin to ring, that is what begins to happen. Can everybody roll me a DC 10 wisdom saving throw as the sky begins to almost shudder and shift? It loses its blueness, almost beginning to go white. That's a face, Seth. Is that not a DC 10 wisdom saving throw?
It sure isn't. It is a critical fail.
Oof.
I have a 5.
I have a 16.
All right. Vesper.
Sorry, with a 3, it's an 8. Sorry.
No, all good. Vesper and Zahir. For better or worse, you're sort of caught up in the experience. A little quicker than normally you would be able to, and certainly given the day's tension, perhaps quicker than you would like to. It's a different experience for both of you. Vesper, you feel yourself almost drawn up, drawn out of yourself as you hear the people around you begin to also kind of synchronize, for lack of a better word. It's almost as if everybody has begun having the same thought. And all of that energy is just pointed upward spiritually. You are just, for lack of a better word, overcome by God. And this looks different for different people. Some of the people behind you begin sort of swaying in an uneasy rhythm. Across the crowd, you hear people just begin singing. Not the same song, not the same key or the same tempo. It almost comes out as babble. What is it like for you as the spirit overtakes you?
Can't think of the word that I'm looking for, but I think it is just like a singular moment that's stretched out into something that feels like eternity, and it is all encompassing. It is probably horror in just a it, for lack of a better word, in cosmic sense of there's a word that I can't, like existential, thank you. Existential terror but certain of just like having more proof of this thing that has existed for him in the realm of faith, that he's been very devout in, but nonetheless there's he's experiencing something that to him he interprets as like a tangible sort of evidence of this thing. And it's horrifying.
Sure. Your family or anybody else in your immediate vicinity clocks this, but they're perhaps too caught up in it as well to really do very much of anything about it. In this terror, this kind of existential meditation, you look over and you see your sister, and she is just staring up at the sky, almost blankly, mouthing the words to something you can't quite pick up. If you look to your left, you see your parents, an older drow couple, standing there. And you might even notice how they're holding hands, but their grip is iron tight. If you rose over, Zahir, your experience here might be the most singular out of anybody in the city, at least this year. As the sky continues to go white, you almost feel as if you are being ripped in two. For a moment, you'd considered Kamar might come out as the divine presence just bears down on you and forces him out. That's not what's happening. Kamar isn't emerging. He is being ripped out of you on some kind of a metaphysical level. You experience a blinding pain as this thing, this part of you, this entity recedes from your perception as the angel of the presence departs from your body and enters space. What is it like for you as this happens and you are kind of overcome by the synchronization of consciousness here?
Yeah, a certain sort of fury and a possession, like a protectiveness over something that he feels like he's earned, even if it is something he doesn't understand. That is Kamar, that has been him for so long. So he has this grip on his chest as if he's like, I've paid my dues. I made the transaction. I said yes. You cannot take back what I agreed to. He is angry and furious because he does not believe, even in gods, even in faith, in hope. He grew up in the worst of situations, and for him, gods are just rich merchants peddling best blessings for prayers and power for devotion. So for him, this is bullshit. And so for them to take something that he accepted and said yes to, especially the angel of the presence, he is like grinding his teeth in just like pathetic, like how don't take him. Like I asked for him, and just like saying that over and over.
Mm-hmm. Do you try to hold on? Do you try to pull back, as it were?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me like a charisma check. Just like charisma, no skills. Like DC like 15.
Oh, that got a 16.
All right, nice. You're not able to stop the incarnation. That is beyond your power. But you are able to sort of yank the chain in the other direction, so to speak. What do you do with that? Do you try to communicate with this being? Do you try to grasp
He's
some part of Kamar?
Yeah, he's grasping for Kamar. He's grasping for that little bit of himself that he wants to be, that power that he never really had. So he's like, it's me now. It's part of me. So he's calling out to Kamar, uh, pretty much in like an angry thought, like, wake up, get back here. This is where you need to be. Um, Pretty much like yelling back at the presence or some whatever the being is pushing back and but at Kamar saying like um if you just strip away their little thrones, they're no better than like a cut purse like me. So just come back. I know you're hungry. I'm hungry for coin. I know you're hungry too. And like uses that to like will him back to his side.
Absolutely. Um, I'll tell you what. As the pressure continues to build, you feel this tension, this tug. You were able to pull something back, but it just continues to grow in a sort of slow, unstoppable increase. And at the last moment where you are able to continue fighting against it, something seems to break or snap. You fall to your knees. And as you look at the ground in your hands, you are wrapped in familiar pale wraps, and Kamar has emerged. It feels a little empty in a way, a little lonely, but it is fully Kamar.
He does a little like laugh and kind of like hits at his heart and says like, I didn't know you liked me that much. Um, and just starts like he has been out for a while, so he just starts stretching his hands and feeling like the texture of the linen wraps and the the tenacity or like the tightness of how it's wrapped around him. Um, and he's hoping to hear that like rattling sound of like Zahir's little voice laughing back or annoyed back at him just because he's being a little sassy now.
For sure. And Renak, this is well, this is it. To an extent. All around you, people begin singing, chanting, seemingly hallucinating. Uh, it's bizarre. It's almost like a kind of mass hysteria in a way. The devils that you are with, those truly native to hell, chafe and bristle. Uh, they're all heavily armored, covered in metal and thick padded cloth, and just trying to avoid what you assume will end up to be burns of some kind. Do you do anything as this continues?
I think this is one of those wonderful opportunities where not being a full being of hell and more someone that contractually, uh, partially consensually got dragged there and has been, employed there ever since, is there's a bit of a schadenfreude to all of that, as it kind of just looking around, at like it's a bunch of people getting burned by holy water, and it's the sprinkling is annoying to all of those who are singing. They call it ecstasy for a reason, I suppose, but I think as the devils are bristling and chafing in their particular mails and leathers, there's more of slight grin that comes across his face, and but it's mixed with a bit of bemusement as well. It's just like, this could be over any minute now, and I'd gladly go back to hell at this point. This is. Well, you've seen one divine intervention, you've seen them all. He's looking down at his non-watch. He's like brushing dust off of his armor. Just anything at this point, anything to look around, because at this point it's just like, yeah, it's being at a, it's what how do I want to compare this? It's like being a Satanist dragged to a like mega church. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't actually hurt, but it's the most annoying thing, and it could be over yesterday at this point. Like let's wrap this up. We all get it. We're
Mm,
all having a great time.
absolutely. For you, I will say one thing you notice is that your employer seems to be in a similar headspace that you are. This sort of richly adorned and magnificently armored human just kind of stands there with his arms crossed, just observing more or less. You know,
Um,
and Khan kind of turns to you and nods.
my Lord Khan, I don't mean to speak out of place. Is is this going to be over soon?
Yes, it will be over soon. 10, 15 minutes.
No.
That's all.
And we have to stand here the whole time.
Are you so disinterested in the local custom?
It's not my preference, but I am but here to serve, of course.
I'm afraid there's nowhere else to go at the moment, but fear
All right.
not. We'll survive the next 15 minutes.
Of course. I will endure. And he's standing there, his, again, massive executioner's sword, big like curve to it. He's got just like planted on the ground, his hands kind of resting on the hilt, and then he's just like running his thumb along the edge of the blade, just irritatingly digging in a little too much as he's going along there.
Mhm.
It's his stim, and so he's got a pretty big callus built up on his scales from doing that for quite some time.
Mhm.
You have to have something to get your mind off of a lot of people talk about how like the fires and the torture and everything's the worst thing in hell. It's honestly, it's the boring times, and there's
Mhm.
so many of them. It's You can only torture and have fires for so much. There's a lot of downtime, and it's so menial.
Absolutely, all fair assessments. Can you go ahead and make me a perception check real quick, since you're the only one who is kind of caught up in all this at the moment?
Yes. That's
I'll
fair.
make one for the boss too. That's not bad.
Okay. So that's a, yes, a little bit. 17 on the die plus 2, 19.
That'll absolutely do it. Um, as this is happening, you're in a big square, right? There's a bunch of other buildings around. As you watch, you begin to see more people begin to show up, gathered on the rooftops, oddly enough, all dressed in long red cloaks with faceless white masks. At their front is I'll give this one to you for free. At their front is an individual you've heard of before, but not quite seen. This tiefling figure in a sort of vibrant red suit. Just kind of standing there, the only person not masked or anything like that. You've heard of this individual before. They're called the Beloved for some reason. It's some new religion that all these red hooded people are a part of. The Red Presence.
What would I necessarily know about the Red Presence being a newer visitor to the city? Is this
You would.
yeah, a bunch of people all like, dressed the same coming into a new space is a red flag for me as a human being. I'm either going to have, a flash mob or a bachelorette party or like something's going to ruin my night. So, like, I'm wondering if this is also a red flag too.
It's a flag for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
You have an interesting set of background information on these individuals. Khalil Khan hired you, but he's not where your allegiances lie. Or at least he's not the most powerful individual vying for your services. The Archdevil Despotter has sent you here to investigate this thing, the Red Presence movement. You would know there's sort of an apparatus of power for another important devil who calls herself Caroline on this plane. She's creating the circumstances for the birth of a new spiritual movement. She's left her husband in charge of it terrestrially here. And as these people die and as they recruit more followers, they pledge themselves. And she gets their soul at the end. It's infernal politics.
Not necessarily cheating, but it goes against the spirit of the game, for sure. Yeah, I did also give Renok the background of bounty hunter, so he does also have ear to the ground. So, like I said, he was a citizen a long time ago, and the sticky places never seemed to quite not be sticky, so he does know the places to get information. So, as he looks up then at least to his the person he is pretending to serve, a challenger, I presume, or is this are they aligned with Caroline as well?
Is who aligned with Caroline?
Khan.
Khan is not aligned with Caroline necessarily.
Okay.
He would be more aligned with Despotter theoretically, but he's just kind of an influential human who has pull in the hells, and so he kind of contracts people out on like a by need basis.
Well, in the vein of something interesting happening, this is one step closer to what he was looking for than, somebody descending from whatever. It's not a big deal. So I think that he's going to hold his tongue and maybe start reaching for his heavy crossbow that he has strapped to his back, just in case we need to pick off one or two.
For sure, absolutely.
And otherwise, he is going to turn his eyes skyward, not looking at this, immense event of religiosity, but instead at the growing rooftop of cultists.
Yeah. At this point, you're able to see there's maybe like a few dozen of them. The ceremony continues. The ground begins to shake. More people sort of join in this collective experience of consciousness. At some point, I will say, at some point, I think Kamar and Vesper, you realize this is going on a little too long. This is normally something that's 10, 15 minutes, all said and done, but it lingers this time. About half an hour in a moment of horror and glory, the doors to the temple fly open, and the angel of the presence manifests before you. This has not happened before. This does not happen. People do not see this. The angel emerges, towering to the top of the temple. Its form is this bizarre contradiction of wheels within wheels, spinning in directions that don't seem to exist. Eyes open and close along the rim of these enormous gold wheels. And these are not human eyes. These are points of awareness that almost seem to see through time as well as space. It has these enormous white feathered wings that seem to be physical and something else at the same time. Some spread wide enough to brush the temple walls. Others seem to fold in on themselves, providing lift in a dimension that you can't see. Light emanates from this thing, and reality is torn where the angel passes over you. It leaves after images that show what is, what was, and what still may be. You do not hear its voice, but you feel it. It resonates in your blood. It tells you, do not be afraid. The priests burst through the open doors out into the courtyard in ecstatic fervor, singing the praises of this thing. It's beautiful. It is also horrible. Renok, can you make me one final wisdom saving throw? This will be DC 15.
Okay. Let's see. I don't think that's going to do it. No, that's only a 3 on the die plus 2, so that's only a 5.
As the angel of the presence emerges and passes over you, you are unable to resist the kind of wave, the cosmic mental pull out from yourself and into this divine space of shared consciousness. What is that like for you?
Ooh. Wow. It is the complete antithesis of, I think, everything he has experienced for what has felt like several eternities. It is like going from absolute sub-zero frostbitten limbs into like the warmest water you could think of. I'm sure it's like feeling like boiling at a certain point, where it is the best worst feeling, this separation of everything that he has been, and this realization of where his life, his death, his afterlife, everything should have gone. it's like looking into the multiverse and realizing that you're in the worst timeline, and it is, yeah, it's painful. I'm sure it is existentially the worst torture he's ever experienced, coming from somebody who's been in hell.
Absolutely. While the three of you and everyone else around you, no one really seems to be able to resist the experience at this point. So as the three of you and everyone else around you bask in the divine, for lack of a better word, time seems to melt away. You all have these individualized experiences. Sorry, I'm looking for something. Anyway. In a split second, everything cuts. You are pulled out of this divine, revelatory, apocalyptic sensation as a bolt of lightning descends from the sky and strikes the angel dead. As you are wrested back into your physical form, a scene of panic and horror and just unmitigated mourning begins to descend on everyone around you. Everything is disoriented. People are shouting. And if anyone bothers to take a look at the rooftops, you see maybe a couple hundred figures in red robes standing there, and you see a tiefling having just pulled magic from the sky. The form of the angel sort of collapses in on itself, dripping this vibrant gold blood across the ground. Its wheels collapse and stop spinning and hit the ground with a metallic thud. Snow white feathers fly everywhere. There's a panic. What do you all do?
I think that if Renok is part of an honor guard, that the first thing he is going to do is prepare his blade and push Khan to the ground, essentially like taking a stance over him.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he will. I presume Khan's on some sort of slightly raised level as a person of importance or whatever. But regardless, he is just going to be scanning the area. I mean, again, he is inferring that the tiefling summoned down the lightning bolt, so the eyes are going up there, but there's also nothing more dangerous than a crowd of scared people. And so there's like, if anybody gets within the slashing radius, they're getting slashed. It doesn't matter who they are.
Absolutely. I will say, fortunately enough for you, in this case, no one seems to be approaching too close to the slashing radius, so you don't have need to incite the crowd further. Yeah, no, you throw Khan to the ground, and you all. So Khan is not in a raised position. He's actually kind of towards the back of this whole thing, standing by what's essentially like an armored wagon.
Cool.
Y'all essentially arrived at the last possible second.
Okay. Actually, in that case, then I am going to grab him by whatever the closest thing to the scruff of his neck is, throw him into the armored wagon, and smack a horse's ass to get it going.
Absolutely. You throw Khalil Khan into his armored wagon, slap the ass of the horse, and he and his wife and child take off.
Renok will not be going with them.
Absolutely.
Now that he doesn't have a job to do, he actually likes the chaos a little bit.
Vesper, Kamar now.
I'll go first because I think Vesper would probably act on instinct. And it would just be a matter of probably reacting to watching this, this important religious figure literally die. And just act out of fear for the family members that he has right there with him, like, who are right there every year. And just kind of try to herd them into like a small circle against like a wall or a pew or whatever is there, and just kind of try to shield them from the panic initially, I think. Eyes are on the sky, of course. Eyes are on our old friend, the Beloved, and just protection for right now is paramount.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll a perception check. Let's call this DC 10.
Sure, I'm not using that die again. That's another critical fail.
All right, I'll tell you what.
I'm leaving.
You see a safe position. Safe. In
I would
that you
trust that.
in that you see a bunch of armored devils and other hell-lined type creatures kind of forming up, creating like a little phalanx almost towards the rear, towards the back of the square. Nothing else to you is immediately apparent as far as getting anybody to safety, and it seems that other people of like martial prowess seem to be heading in the direction of this sort of cadre of devils, more along the lines of getting all the fighters in one spot should this confrontation with the Red Presence become an issue. But that's the only kind of safe, stable position you see at this point.
I don't think that Vesper would risk it. Honestly, I think at that point he would kind of like whip his head around, look and clock the fact that like, okay, these are all the fighters are going to be. This is going to be like the target if shit starts to go down, which it clearly is. I think that he would have them just get down and brace and try to, cover what he can.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's not much else he can do.
For sure. And Kamar, what do you do?
A good question. Kamar at least would follow through and trying to find the best position as well, just trying to understand like where everybody fits, because they don't know this new figure, they don't know anyone here, but they know the anger and fury they have like for Khalil specifically. Whatever is happening in a larger sense, that doesn't apply to him. It's like a thing has been turned on and he's like, this is my job. That's him. End of question, like end of thing. So they're kind of trying to put together a either a way of stealth or something to just, they're looking around for strike points or things that will be beneficial for his build, for what he knows what to do. So that's what he's looking around for.
So you're looking around for like where Khan went? I'm trying to like...
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, you see this... Okay.
Did they see the big sword?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, that's really why they're seeing that big sword and thinking they're a fighter. So they're that's why they're looking for like choke points or things like that and where they're going, especially for the armored car. That's why they're looking for that.
So you're looking to give chase?
Oh, are they with Vesper right now? That's what I wanted to know.
Who? Ranok?
No. Has Kamar and Vesper met up?
Yeah, I assume.
I think we arrived together last session.
Yeah. they'll
Yeah,
kind of look to Vesper and just have a face of like it looks like fury. They're like white eyes saw like eyes are just like pointing at that, and I'm like, I'm going.
I can't stop you. My parents are here. Everything is going to shit. I can't stop you from making a stupid decision right now. Do you think you can win against this?
And he'll like take a big look at all of it and just it looks like he's grinding his jaw, and if he could spit at the like the corner as in anger, and just I keep holding back over and over and over, and he keeps getting farther and farther away. I don't know how much more I can take this. And he's going to look back and just see where they are going and not give chase.
sure, absolutely. They're going towards the center of town, for lack of a more detailed description.
He like at least his shoulders, probably that's where you can see him just flex it, and just he is furious, and he turns. I've been asleep for way too long. What is it that we need to do to get there?
First and foremost, I have to get my parents out.
He like
I'm
kind
sorry.
of looks around you. He sees them and looks at you and says, if this is what you need to assist me in that, then tell me what to do and I can help.
If we can just get them somewhere where people aren't stampeding. Then-
Good.
No, that was all.
Yeah. I would say at this point, you hear Grace, we can take them to the shelf.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. I'm not sticking around to see what's going to happen.
All right.
Let's just go.
Alex, let me ask: are people running towards the dead angel, or is everybody more or less running in away from it?
There are large groups of people doing different things. So there are some people just fleeing. They are just trying to get out of the square, get away from these red presence people, and be done with it, right? That's probably the majority of people. There are definitely people who are running towards the dead angel for what appear to be myriad reasons. Some people seem to be like almost picking at the feathers to like collect something. Other people are just like sort of kneeling or standing over the body, wailing and lamenting. And perhaps most disturbingly, there's a small number of people who are on hands and knees drinking the golden blood of this thing from off the ground.
Great. So cool thing about Dragonborn in Revised 2024, one of the only cool things I've seen about that, is they can sprout spectral wings at a high enough level. So I would love to sprout some devilish, dragonish wings and fly up and over the swarming masses and basically land again, kind of like over top of the devil, just heavy thumb. I mean, there's no limitations on armor, so he is heavily armored, full plate, and lands with like a shockwave almost, and kind of just sweeps his sword out at all of the scavengers. Be gone. This thing will do nothing for you now. And see if he can kind of like have the thing to himself.
Okay. Sure, make an intimidation check.
Okay.
Let's call this DC 18.
That is an 18 on the die, so
Hell
I'm glad for
yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm not sure let me see what his bonus is just to top that off. +6. I think we got there.
It's quite scary. So Kamar and Vesper, while y'all are planning and figuring out what to do, you see one of the honor guard from Khalil Khan's group just take off with these great, magnificent black spectral wings. He sort of flies up for a moment and then comes down with a crash, brandishing this enormous executioner's sword, kind of chasing everybody off. And he's broadly successful in doing this. What do you do when you have this corpse to yourself?
So again, a number of things. I don't think that he necessarily disagreed with their motives. Just he's not one for sharing. First of all, he is going to place a hand in this golden blood, kind of with his black and gold aesthetic already, and place a big dragon-like paw print, full, Saruman, Hand of Isengard kind of thing,
Yeah.
on his breastplate. He is then going to lick his fingers clean and take a then full gulp of said angel blood. Once he feels that he's good with that, he is going to dip his blade in what is left, because there's nothing like a little angel blood in case you need to fight some devils, and when you're in hell, you're always fighting devils, or even worse, demons. And then if he can, he's gonna try to take this thing's head if it has a decipherable one.
I won't. It doesn't have a decipherable head, right? This thing is like
well,
wheels
that's
and
a bummer
wheels.
for an executioner.
Yeah, yeah. You could pluck out an eye if you wanted to, I suppose.
Yeah, when you have so many, like, what is one? You know?
Yeah.
All right,
Fair point.
he'll sate himself, with just that.
All right, absolutely. This is not what I thought was going to happen, but let's roll a Constitution saving throw.
I think that's what I was gonna say, medicine, to see if he, like, I don't know, gets
So, while he is rolling,
hepatitis.
Vesper and Hamar, you realize something absolutely horrible, which is that the previous people who were tending to the body of the angel, right? They were the faithful, right? They're aligned with Numa Ailish. They're like mourning. They're doing genuine religious practice, even if they're improvising, for lack of a better word, right? This guy is not doing that. He seems to be harvesting this for power.
And so it's just these draconic jaws. I'm sorry, it is a dirty 20. It's a 14-6.
Dirty 20. All right. That'll do it. Give me a moment to consider what benefits you get from consuming the blood of this thing, but it doesn't burn you from the inside out, so that must be a plus.
Yeah, to not get acid reflux from angel blood is always a benefit. That's always. I don't want any tummy ache.
I'll tell you what. The cleric feature, Divine Intervention, you get one of those for free.
Cool. Can't wait to pick a god for that one. Yeah, I think once, like, the draconic jaws are just like dripping gold, he is going to again spread his wings and go flying off like some sort of horrible gargoyle after the I assume there's a meetup point for Cleo Khan, so he is going to be a good signal to follow in case that is of interest to someone, and go flying off into the city.
Yeah, for sure. So y'all see that. That's not good. But you also know. So you are fleeing to get Vesper's parents to safety, correct?
Yeah.
Or question, do you want to leave that to Grace?
I was actually gonna have that conversation with her.
Perfect.
Just, look, you came here to help. Do you still want to help?
Yeah.
Or do you want to stay and fight? How are we doing this? I don't know what's happening, and I can't make the decision for you.
So, in the absence of anybody mounting a significant resistance against the Red Presence folks, they're just leaving. And so there's sure, absolutely, there's still panic everywhere, but there doesn't seem to be much of an organized resistance. And so in that context, Grace just kind of turns to you. I gotta get Mom and Dad out of here. We'll meet up later, I guess.
Yeah, I'll find you.
Yeah,
Go, be safe.
you too. And yeah, Grace leaves with your parents.
Cool. Vesper will just turn to Kamar. Still Kamar at the moment. Yeah, we'll turn to Kamar. Just fucking blank and unsure. And is just kind of at a loss for words amidst the remnants of the panic and the screaming, I'm sure, and all of that, and the really cool music. And we'll just go. Okay. Let's go. Where?
He had been like kind of twitching and angry, and every time he said the word help, that's not really Kamar's thing. So seeing Grace walk away, he has like a relief, and he turns. Could Kamar see from their last thing like where they went off to?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say
They'll just have
broadly.
like they'll just point directly at it, like You have a family. Mine's is there. I mean, his is there. I'm going towards something, and you're running from this. So if you're going to do this together, this is... Understand there's a different motivation here. But if you do run and do want to save yourself, I will understand when we're in the thick of it.
I think Vesper kind of scoffs at the idea. Like it's not about saving myself. I'm with you.
Kind of like tilts his head and takes that in a nod. I'm getting that son of a bitch.
Let's go kill that asshole.
He'll take his like moon sickle out, and he's gonna do something to it once I have my character sheet back up. But then like turn to it, and they will start following. Is there a way they can navigate? Are people still stampeding, rushing past? Is there a way they can navigate on the roofs or something that avoids everything?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, you could take the roofs, for example. The red presents have begun to clear out, so they're pretty unobstructed at this point. There are, at this point, there's like, it's almost equal pressure in and out, right? There are still civilians fleeing the sea and coming out from hiding. And then there are also just tons of people rushing in. The most notable of them, you see divers, and you see agents of the Magisterium, sort of all running into the square to like understand what's happening. Notably, you do also see members of the church not just beginning to come out, but beginning to organize. And specifically, you see members of the Inquisition, the sort of military arm of the Manifold Church, come out in this gleaming steel and gold armor, sort of making a perimeter around the corpse of the angel. The Inquisition doesn't do much these days, so seeing them out and active is unique. But yeah, you're able to take to the rooftops with Vesper and begin giving chase. Fortunately, you have this real striking black silhouette that you're following through the sky. Interestingly enough, the sky is not returning back to its normal color. It's still this sort of like stark, sickly pale white.
And I think that just like for Vesper's part, this is like taking to the rooftops and just not looking back kind of a thing, because what I think what he just saw makes him sick to his stomach in more ways than one.
Okay.
Just kind of following wherever. Honestly, I don't even think he's looking up. I think he's just following Kamar.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Kamar thinks the same, where it's just like there's this whatever guilt, fear, anything that he deems that is not his like instinct, he feels like that is just the here feeling it. So if there is something like fear and whatever is happening above or thought to it, he will dismiss it and be like whisper to himself, just shut up, I can handle this.
Sure. Renak, you arrive at the Half Moon Inn and Tavern first. This is one of the city's finest establishments for weary travelers who need to rest. And Khan has sort of like essentially rented out all of the top floor, for lack of a better words. He's got several rooms all kind of clustered next to each other for himself, his family, his various guards and attendants. And so you sort of swoop in, you're able to kind of just like land on a balcony and saunter on into the third floor of this establishment. And yeah, you see, by and large, your comrades and your cohort all just kind of like, some of them are gearing up, some of them are sort of gearing down, so to speak, done for the day.
He'll go to whatever the closest one is.
Mhm.
Are we moving in or moving out?
You approach this large bone devil. He's like 9 feet tall, but he's all scrunched up. Kind of looks at you with his like narrow, pointed white face. Staying here for now. I don't like it. We should be out on the hunt.
You missed a good one, by the way.
Don't remind me.
Thanks,
Killing
Jeff.
mortals is much more fun than others our kind.
Something tells me we'll have an opportunity for that soon.
Good.
All right. Take care of yourself, Jeff. It's always good talking to you.
You too. And Jeff continues on his merry way.
Yeah, slip a little bit of lore in there. It's short for what his like very cool devil name is, but yeah. Friends call him Jeff.
Jeff.
Renok then will go to whatever like fashioned closet he has tried to set up for himself, because bunking with devils is the sulfur people talk about, like, oh, that's brimstone. That's all devil farts. That's what they don't tell you. It's horrible. So he has set up a small area for himself just to like bunk down in. And as he walks in, he will look at the faces of the people that he has looked at every single day since he set up in this space. Those being of Vesper and of just all the wanted posters that he has like decorated around. I can't remember exactly if they're completely accurate and which version of Mozz's character they necessarily depict, but he has the wanted posters just like placed around in a like a little semicircle to so that he can remember. And it's not just that any wanted posters he has kind of decorated
For sure.
his little space with.
Yeah, absolutely. Little do you know that probably like 8 of those water wanted posters are just like all Eris.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
In different positions, like
Yeah.
It's weird
Uh,
that one she's posing for that one. I don't.
complete
uh,
different shape and illusion.
Yeah, it's
Ma-
like Peter Parker's pictures of Spider-Man. It's like,
mm,
why does he know that he's getting his
mm.
picture taken?
Mozz, can you roll me a die? Tell me if you get even or odd.
Even
Okay. Um, yeah, I will say then in that case, Ranok, while you're uh, sort of posted up with the rest of your cohort awaiting new orders, I will say that Vesper and Kamar, you make it in short order to the Half Moon Inn and Tavern, where you know that Khalil Khan has taken up at least temporary residence.
What time of day is it? I know that because the visitation normally doesn't take that long, but obviously everything
Yeah.
kind of went to shit. So is it
Late
afternoonish? We
late
talking
morning, maybe
late
12.
morning? Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, I think when they arrive, Vesper like kind of blinks himself into some semblance of clarity and turns to Kamar and is just kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of divulges like this isn't this isn't how I would have wanted um this to go. Ideally, this would be under cover of night without everybody on alert from another event. Uh I I'm with you, but I don't feel good about this.
what's good about this? What? Nothing. This shit looks, as my friend would say, hopeless. And he kind of has like a little giggle to it, and like, but and he scrunches his eyes and just. I don't know if this is kind of hedged toward us.
Well, I have only stayed here a couple times. We don't know what room he's in. We have nothing to go off of here, so sorry. I don't know how to help, I guess.
As you approach from the roof level, I won't make this perception check. Kamar, you see a familiar pair of individuals leave out the front door. Jamila and what's the child's name again? Forgive me.
You're good. We can call him his daughter for a while while I remember.
Cool. Absolutely. You see Jamila and your daughter.
He has this like recognition of like there is the reason why the angel of presence brought me to is here. So he has this face of recognition and like a yell in his mind before he reaches out for them. And kind of in a commanding tone, stop, to get their attention.
Sure. You sort of descend from the rooftops and walk over there. You yell stop, and they turn to you, right? There are not a ton of people out and about in this part of town. They turn to you. There's no look of recognition to this form that you're in. From her side, Jamila pulls out a knife of some kind, a short sword. She just points at you. Stay back. Who are you? What do you want?
He's like quiet and just like it's as if he was born the moment she disappeared. And for months, I don't know how long, this is the face that they were trying to find. And it's real standing in front of him. And he's kind of wondering why Zahir isn't talking. So he kind of like is scanning them and says, "Your husband is waiting for you."
She looks at you in baffled confusion. She begins to speak. No, he's and still holding the sword. My husband died years ago.
He'll give it like a little laugh to that. Asleep, maybe, but not dead.
Gone either way.
No. Very much alive. Very much here. But he's gonna try and attempt to. This is so weird. Kumar would never kind of retreat back, but he like does so, like slowly unraveling the wrap a little bit at a time and trying to go back within. And like as like the linen wraps kind of come back in, there is just like this very sad kind of waking face first and arms like look like of Zahir looking at his wife. And then like he'll go like he'll see like the sword out and he will like bend right at it and look up at her.
Jamila drops the sword, gives a surprised yelp, for lack of a better way to describe it, and runs at you, embracing you. The child, for her part, doesn't seem to fully understand what's going on, but she lingers. She's not afraid anymore.
He clutches her really tightly and tries to like smell like the lingering smells in her hair, the way it felt of her weight in his arms. And as if he's been missing that for so long, he's gonna just sob into her shoulder, entirely like missing her, missing everything about her. And trying to hold her tighter and tighter as if she would be safer if he could just take her and put her in the safe spot where Kamar goes.
Cutting back, Renok, you see Khalil Khan still armored, like peering out a window, and he just looks. He just like turns away from it, like he shuts the curtain, looking disgusted. No idea why she insists on a mangy fucking dog. Renok, with me, and you two begin to head down. I mean, he heads down.
Yeah, there's no reason to, give him any reason not to distrust me now. Yeah, I'll go down with him.
Absolutely. And that is where we will cut to our break. All right, everybody. Good shit. We're gonna get up and take a quick 5-10 minute break. Go up, stretch, drink some water, pet your pets, say hi to your loved ones, and we'll be right back.
Don't forget our giveaway, hashtag
Oh,
pain.
true. Hashtag pain for Friday afternoon tea.
Pretty good stuff.
Yeah. All right. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Last we left off, Zahir was having a touching reunion with his wife, former wife. I'm not sure what you call that. And Renak, you're following, and angry Khalil Khan as he bursts through the door of the tavern into the outside. Before we get to that, actually, Vesper, where are you? Are you street level or are you on top of a roof?
The way I see it, Kamar ran off without him, and he was not about to go intrude on that shit. So I'm chilling on the roof.
Chilling on the roof.
Posted
Excellent.
up, thinking about things that are way above my pay grade. Re the existence and then subsequent death of the only tangible figure of my religion.
Absolutely.
Going through it.
As you contemplate this, as I said, the door to the tavern bursts outward, and a very handsome, well-armored gentleman comes through with a very scary-looking dragonborn guard, the same guy that was like drinking the blood and shit. He's there too. Zahir Khan sort of calls out to you. Zahir, why could you not leave well enough alone? As you are considering your response, Jamila turns on a dime in a fury, reaches down for the short sword again, and marches her ass right up to Khan. You told me he was dead! Khan exhales, crosses his arms. I told you what you needed to know in the moment. Dead, gone, what does it matter? Except someone forgot to play their part.
The release of like Jamila's arms on him, he's emboldened and staring at this man who dared lie, even about his presence, his life, his everything. But before he snaps his fingers and wants Kamar's rage to come out for him, he will go in front of his daughter. Jamila can fight. He knows his wife. But his daughter, he will pull behind him. And kind of behind Jamila will just say, "You should leave him to me. Take the little one."
Sorry, give me a second. Can you roll me a wisdom saving throw? DC 18.
Okay. That was a 15 plus 3.
That will just do it.
And that is?
So as you say, like, "Oh, leave God to me, I got this," he looks at you, and in a flash of what can only be described as annoyance, he just like snaps his fingers and tries to cast Hold Person on you. Uh, you're able to shake it off, though. What do you do mentally to kind of disarm the spell? How do you focus? What does a wisdom saving throw look like?
Oh, for Zahir, it is the m- the feeling of like a street urchin kind of coming up to the top of the city and seeing everything above, just like that release of air and freedom, and just that internal thought of everyone thinks that they could keep like us down, and he's just like kind of smiling back at that, like fuck you. Like, you tried.
Looking for my fucking green yes card. I don't know where it went. Anyway. Yeah, absolutely. You are able to resist the spell with a smirk on your face. And Khan actually, like, doesn't try anything else. You've become more capable since we last saw each other. Is this
You
how you
took the
want to
one
handle
thing.
this?
You took the one thing that made me alive. So, yes, we are handling this. And he'll kind of softly gesture ahead onto Jamila's back. You wish to fight him too.
Was that a question to Jamila?
Mhm.
She turns to you looking concerned. I do. But I don't know if we can win this. Not with everyone up there. Not with him. She points at Renok.
Is Vesper above, like on the, because they only jumped down the roof, right?
I'm trying
Yes.
so hard not to take this moment from you.
It is totally not like a moment in the way they see it, as like us against them. So they will kind of, they're trying to look for that like peripheral view of where you are.
He's right where you left him on that rooftop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
As good.
She's right. There's a child behind him. She is a talented fighter as well. That's the main reason why he fell for her. But they have someone here who they have to protect, and that sword is really big. So when he looks at her, he gives her an understanding face, a face of, you're right, then we need to go. Khalil, he will snap his fingers to get Kamar back. And it like let the linen wraps wrap over his arms, his muscles, and only his face last, so that he sees that he will, not Kamar, he will be back to kill Khalil. Before it conceals, and Kamar's like Deadpool eyes come back and his like kind of tilt, and he like cracks his like muscles, he like cracks his back, and he's pushing like his sleeves down. All right, love. It looks like he wants you to run. That means I'm your little backup party, right? And he kind of looks at the little ones like, how about that, little lady? You ready to run?
What makes you think I'm letting you get anywhere?
Oh, that's fine. And he'll push like Jamila like behind him to get to his daughter and give them like a head start.
Sure.
Stop that.
So Jamila does not withstand the save against hold person, as Khan just like irritatedly waves a hand, and she just kind of stuck in place.
Say that one more time.
What was that?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Jamila does not withstand the save from Khan casting hold person against, so she just gets ready to start moving, and she's
You seem to have things more than in hand, my lord, but I stand at the ready as ever should you need assistance.
I'm about to. Look. The two of you, both. They're referring to Zahir and Jamila. More trouble than you're worth. So I'll tell you what. You want to abscond together, you want your perfect little happy family, fine. But I give nothing for free. So, you take my best fighter here. Hunt down that maniac that killed a god today. Bring me his head, you get a wife in return. How's that sound?
How truthful does this seem to be?
All right, go ahead and roll an insight check.
13.
13? Hard to say. He's a shifty bastard. Always has been. It does broadly seem to be within his interests to have the siege dead, in the sense that that seems to be broadly in a lot of people's interest, but hard to say.
The better part of this deal would be for you to offer you yourself to me than her. I'm still going to go after you even if I can accomplish this.
One thing at a time, then. Hunt me to the ends of the earth. See if you succeed. I don't care. Get rid of this beloved. Then you can have your own. And if you still want to chase me down after that, I'd love to see you try.
Did Jade, his daughter, also fail?
No, she was not expelled upon.
They they walk back to Jamila, and if they're like held in place, kind of tilt their like chin up with the hand. He's angry inside here. Your husband? I am only here to get you. So, I can say yes. Easily. Without any forethought, without any consideration, because it gets me to the job done and complete. My entire purpose. What do you say?
Khan lets the spell go. Jamila kind of lurches forward with a gasp. I think you should do it. As much of a sick fuck as he is, bargaining me. Gets us out.
He let the spell go.
Yeah, he let the spell go for her to respond.
Talk, but she's like still held.
No, she's moving. Yeah.
How much like ability to do something stupid and still get out is there?
Depends on the decision.
I want to take away her as a bargaining chip.
How
She's
do you
been
plan
used
on-
way too many times. So I want to cast Shatter in between them and get Jamila and her daughter out. If he's going to bargain, he's going to bargain with Kamar's life, not hers.
This is dangerous. But yes, in theory, this is something you can do.
Okay. He's going to touch Jamila for invisibility.
Mhm.
Whisper to her, get the child. Turn around and just cast Shatter to give them a head start and out. He's
Sure.
not running though.
Just so we're all above board, I'm assuming this includes the guard, but as that is another player character, Derek, you down to clown?
Let's do this. I do have a question. Jamila is using. This is a kind of a meta question, but
Sure.
like, how beefy is she as far as like hit points? Are we presuming commoner stats, or is she someone who is experienced in any type of adventuring that might make her hardier?
She's at the. She's not a commoner, but she's not like a leveled adventurer, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Just what it looks like. I'm presuming Khan is somebody who has, enough constitution to himself. Just
Yes.
wondering how fragile of an individual she has been presented to be.
Yeah. If Jamila, I'll put it this way: if anyone targets Jamila, she's not. It's not going to be hard to take her down.
Okay.
All right, let's fucking see it. Let's get some music going. Can you roll damage for shatter, please? Derek, can you make me a Constitution saving throw as I roll one for Con here? And then let's get initiative from everybody who wants to participate here. We're going completely off the rails here, folks. I have no idea what's about to happen, so.
Okay. Well, Despater giveth and Despater take away. That is a nat 20 on the die for the Constitution saving throw.
All right,
That
hell
is
yeah.
a 3 for initiative.
All right. That was a save, I'm assuming. A 22 saves the shatter. And that's a 2 on Khan's initiative. What's the damage on shatter? Both saved, but you'll get half damage.
17.
17 damage on shatter, so they'll both take 9 damage. I forget how it rounds. Let's call it 8. 8 damage to Khan and to Renok. And then let's see some initiative rolls, certainly from Kamar, possibly from Vesper, depending on what you want to do.
They have a 5.
Goddamn, low initiative rolls. You're still the best of the bunch, though. Let's see. That's Kamar. I'm gonna just say Jamila acts on initiative count 20 because all she's doing is running with the kid, right?
Yeah, and she's invisible.
Yeah, sure. All right. So initiative count. Vesper, just to be clear, no nothing.
I think Vesper is probably under his, like, I assume he's within earshot, although like on a rooftop, but I mean probably within earshot to have heard what was said, perhaps. If true, he would have been like, "You stupid motherfucker," under his breath. And I think he's actually just going to kind of lay low, and this is not going to play out well, but this isn't really his thing. So I think he might lay back for at least a turn and see how it goes, I guess. Because
All right, sure. Kamar, you're up. Invisible Jamila and your daughter are fleeing.
He will kind of look over to Renok first. He kind of has a like a radiant glow to his moon sickle, and he says, like, well, Kamar just kind of laughs over to Khalil and says, "You know how many times she's been on the board constantly for my mistakes or your mistakes? She needed to run. I need to make clear decisions."
Khan, for his part, after being shattered, doesn't really have words for you right now. He just seems infuriated.
He kind of like looks over the whatever damage he got from the shattered as like, "Oh, come on, you can take a little bit of that." And he first will go to like get his Eldritch Blast ready, but he'll look at him and be like, "You could understand me trying to protect something. A bargain needs to be made with clear terms. And if you want somebody's head, then here, I can get a head." And he's not trying to like start the fight to finish it right now.
Gotcha. Okay.
He's trying to get this guy to realize he's tired of Jamila being his little plaything.
All right, sure. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check. This will be extremely difficult because you just assaulted him, but
Yeah, no, that is fine. This is exactly what
Yeah.
I would see him doing.
this is like a 23 for persuasion.
I just got a
Someone bug.
19.
Jeez.
20, 21.
Just want a
22.
quick
Dang.
retort.
Oh no! I feel so bad. I feel like a dick. Oh well.
Reload the save. Hurry.
Reload F2.
You know, for someone bargaining about heads, you are in a poor position being a little bit of a 2-for-1.
Without without saying anything, Renok, as we pass to your initiative, Khan just nods at you.
As you wish, my lord. Alex, I did message you on Discord. Wanted to see your thoughts real quick before.
Yep,
take
absolutely.
that-
Let me pull it up.
Okay. Because, like you said, uncharted territory. So, cool. Renok is going to step forward then, and like the full heft of this Buster Sword ass bullshit, like leaning over his shoulder, and I mean, like nonchalantly, like a headsman to the chopping block. He is going to stroll towards. It's Zahir right now, right, or is it Kumar?
Kumar.
Kamar.
It's Kumar right now. Okay. He's going to stroll towards Kumar and prepare to take his attack. As he does, like everything turns white in his eyesight, and it's like the worst migraine of all migraines. And everyone else who watches this Dragonborn is like gripping like the side of his head in between his horns, and in a flash of movement, he spins from looking at Kumar, and as he opens his eyes, he finds that he has Khan's throat in his claws. And he is going to take his attack at Khan.
Go ahead and make it with advantage since he's surprised.
Okay. These are 2 great sword attacks.
Absolutely.
Okay. That is a 11 plus 6 and a 15 plus 6. So a 17 and a 21.
I believe those both hit. Yep, sure do.
Okay. The first bit of damage then is going to be what is that plus this? So 7. The second one is 9. And
16 total.
16 total. And as like he has these attacks, he's coming in and out of realization of what he's seeing. He is reliving all of these lives that he took as a headsman. He is seeing the family before him that he could be the ender of. He could sever this family forever, as he's done so many times before. He could be the one that breaks up this happiness, that ends this storyline, as he has done so many times before. And whether it is the angel blood coursing through his veins or the religious experience that he never wanted but had anyway, or the combination of both, but he finds that his hands are not those of hell anymore. His actions are not those of Despader, and they are not those of Khan, and perhaps for the first time in a long time, they are his, and it is greatly discomforting. It is discomforting to be given free will after having lost it, to be responsible for your own actions, and he is feeling that responsibility like a heavy weight, and there is, again, maybe for the first time in a long time, a little bit of fear behind his eyes as he takes these attacks at somebody who could wreck his shop. And using then his his Invoke Hell ability, which does not require an action. He is going to turn to Kamar and the wife and child, because I can choose up to 3 creatures, and he is going to turn back to them with a lot of hesitation in his voice and say, "Well, fucking run then!" And you are allowed to move up to half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks, just as a free sort of thing. That is his turn.
You gonna run?
He is Kamar, so he has this like Deadpool smile and cheer and just like oh my god, like utmost respect and like kind of like looking at this thing that is unfolding in front of him. But he will turn to Jamila and say, "You heard him," and he's kind of walking backwards, just to keep eyes on this complete change in the battle. This is whatever this is. He wants to see this, like he wants to see Khalil's goddamn face to them.
All right. Cool. Okay. Absolutely. So yeah, I will say Jamila and the child make it a bit further on the way. Kamar, you're able to back up. I'll say you're maybe 10 feet from the fighting now, based on your description. And Vesper, do you want to roll initiative? I can put you in at the next round if you would like. We're gonna have Khan's turn immediately, but just for the sake of asking.
Yeah. I guess I'll roll.
I have to.
I think canonically, Vesper notices like this isn't even like the tide turning. This is literally it is now everybody against this one asshole. And with the potential collateral kind of out of the line of danger, why not?
Sure.
So yeah, I'll roll really quick. That is an 8.
All right, you'll be at the top.
Thank God.
And let's see.
I think what that looks like is just kind of maybe creeping towards the edge of that rooftop, bow in hand.
Absolutely. Okay. So Ranok, your former employer is furious with you. Ah, fuck! And he's gonna make some longsword attacks at you. So does a dirty 20 hit?
Yes, it does.
That'll hit then. That'll also hit. So you are going to take 3 longsword attacks. This would do a total of 45 points of damage. 30 of that is slashing. 15 is necrotic.
Okay. I would like to use my reaction then, and he will need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Sure.
I just need to see what the DC is for that.
Might not do it.
What's that?
Is it 12 pass?
It might. One moment, please. Let's see. Reaction, opportunity attack. Use your reaction, force the attack to make a wisdom saving throw. Why don't you tell me what the wisdom saving throw is?
Is it like your spell save DC? Do you have a mental
It
stat?
should be, but I don't have spells. So
Gotcha.
let's see. Let me see if I click on it. If it'll tell me. It'll just says wisdom. Yeah, he doesn't.
What's your highest mental stat?
Highest mental stat is let's say my intelligence is 10, my wisdom's 14, charisma 17.
Charisma 17, so that's a +3.
Plus 3. Yeah.
Yeah, so it should be a fuck, I'm trying to do.
You'd
Eight-
think a 13, right? Is that? Or
Yeah, I think so. It's a 13.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, then he fails. He rolled a 12.
Okay. And so in that case, he is going to take the equal amount of damage that he dealt to me.
Woo!
Yes.
Spicy.
Yes, that is invoke hell punishment. It is equivalent damage. Half damage on a failed. Or on a
All right.
successful save on his part. So, yes, very much the fear kind of goes away as he realizes how much shit he's actually in, and the damage is absolutely reciprocated.
Yeah.
Apologies, my lord. Consider it a sign of promotion.
Your fucking head. Vesper, you're up.
So the scene, as it were, is these two are within melee range, and then we've got Kamar like 10 feet away, kind of backing away with his.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'm
You're
just gonna...
you're probably
Yeah,
like
sorry.
80 feet out.
80?
Yeah, from like an
Okay, okay,
elevated angle.
Okay, sweet. Okay. That's still fine. I am gonna, since we're choosing spice, I will be spicy and invoke my sharpshooter feat. I want to make an attack against Khan.
Absolutely.
So
Let's
I'll
see
be
it.
taking a -5 to that attack roll. So that
Mhm.
total is so it's 2 to hit. Does an 18 hit?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
It just hits.
Okay. Supply, but I do have sneak attack if they're within melee range of each other, right?
Yes. Yeah, that would be true.
Okay, so for damage,
And Kamar, you're on deck.
gonna roll these virtually because I don't have that many d6s. So that'll be 4d6. Let's do it this way. Okay, so 11 plus 10 is 21, plus 4 is 25 points of damage.
In work. Damn. How much is that? 24? 25?
24 points of damage total with sneak attack and then sharpshooter.
He's looking rough. My boy was not expecting this, and he's paying the price for it. Actually, I'll say that there's no reason this hasn't happened already. So before we head down to Kamar for the next attack. Actually, no, I'll tell you what. At this point, Khan yells for backup, and you hear scrambling from inside the tavern. Like there are like devils and shit like popping out of like upper floor windows and stuff like that. And you've got one turn essentially before they're all out here. And so we begin at the we go to Kamar rather.
Before they're out here, do they have to go through something like a doorway or something like that?
And in theory, most of them would probably be going through the doorway, but there are things that could like leap out the window and fly and shit like that. So there's no one entrance you could use to cover them all.
Yeah. They would like to what was the word that fighters have for another
Action surge?
Or
Action surge?
I think so, but let me see if I have it actually. My brain cannot remember things because like this sheet is
What
so
level
big.
fighter are you?
It's not that. Nope, I don't think I have it yet.
Mhm.
It's
Derek,
totally
you're on
fine.
deck.
They're gonna do their Eldritch Blast twice at they're gonna do one at Cleo and they're gonna do one at the door. They're trying to just remove as many openings, I guess.
Okay, sure. Let's call this DC 15 for like a trick shot on the door.
So first one's 25.
That'll hit for sure.
And the second one is 16.
A 16? All right, sure. 2 hits. How much damage you do on con? I'll say the door, you're able to, I don't know, block it somehow.
Okay. For con it was 9, and the door it was 7.
All right, sure thing. Perfect. All right. Renak, you are up. There's just been an Eldritch Blast fired at your employer who's looking super bad.
Okay. So
Oh,
I just
Mods, what was that?
go ahead.
So sorry. Just wanted to end it with a I should have done that before, but they wanted to do a Hexblade's Curse as their bonus action. And
Okay,
on
sure.
On Khalil.
No worries.
That's
What does
it.
that do? Does that do any extra damage?
It did. It did if I did it in the beginning, but
That's fine. We can add it real quick.
oh, okay. It is a +3 bonus to damage rolls.
All right. That's on the board now. Cool. Renak, you're up.
Okay. I am going to use what are called Infernal Conduit dice.
Okay.
Because that hit was pretty heavy last time. So this is using my Infernal Conduit dice. I'm going to devour. So Runok is going to take the still like angel blood gold stained palm and press it against Khan's chest, and he is going to try to essentially sap, leech, pull life energy from Khan into himself.
Absolutely.
This is a DC 14 con saving throw.
Con saving throw. All right, he's pretty decent at those. Not decent enough. That's a 4 +5 for 9.
Okay. So he is going to take, this is necrotic damage, but it cannot be reduced in any way. He is going to take 28 points of necrotic damage, and I will then absorb that damage into life force for myself.
What's it like as you kill this dude?
So I think as he is watching like this person that he served, the eyes of someone who has enacted so much cruelty and channeled so much cruelty through him, that hand will move up to his throat, and as he finally, that last link of the chain that bound his soul begins to pull and snap, he is going to turn around and face Khan to the eyes of Kumar, just as that last light seems to leave them, and see if Kumar wants to just be the straw that breaks this proverbial camel's back.
Yes. They see that moment and they will come like straight forward, and they're whipping their like moon sickle, and they're just like scratching it on the surface coming in, and if they can will curve the sickle portion around their the last moment, and just kind of have Khalil look at him and let the linen wrappings kind of come back, and just Zahir will fully be himself in this moment with the sickle. Finally, not being like taking away that flaw in him for at least this moment of how cowardly he was when he let this man walk away with his wife that first time, and he's not gonna do that again, and take Khalil out.
You're muted, bud.
You're muted.
You walk up to Khalil. You walk up to him. Renaka's kind of like got him. You kind of grab him by the hair, pull his head back. He looks at you. He is dazed and bloodied, clearly barely holding on to consciousness. With his final breaths, all he can think and expend the energy to do is spit in your face. You grab him, pull his head back, and put the moonsicle in there and pull. And you're able to take the head in one clean, efficient motion.
Zahir kind of has his breath quickened, his heart just pumping. But the eyes that look at you, Ranok, is not someone who is bloodthirsty. It is someone who has been trampled on for so fucking long. And there is just a little bit of peace amongst whatever is happening here, just at least on his face, just for a moment. But he will start walking backwards because he is scared for his wife still.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, Alexa out of initiative. Devils begin to pour into the square from the Half Moon Inn and Tavern. Takes a look, but eventually this burly-looking bone devil, Jephistopheles, crashes through the front door and makes it out on all fours, weaving his long, bony tail around, looking for someone to jab. Behind him follow two horned devils bearing pitchforks. From the third story, maybe a dozen imps just fly out, and they are all circling you, all watching. And it is at this point when the remainder of the phalanx of devils, the rest of Khan's honor guard, Ranok's most direct contemporaries, return from the House of Reason. They all begin circling you. They look warily between the three of you and the corpse of their former employer. Ranok, can you make me a charisma saving throw of DC 20?
Yes, I have a +6. Okay. 15 on the die. That is a 21.
Perfect. You have a bit of an out-of-body experience, the second one today. Too many. You're almost drawn out of yourself, drawn down, pulled into the depths of a very familiar hell. In the back room of an iron city, you see your patron, the Archdevil Despoter, the Lord of Strategy, Deception. He looks at you. Well done.
I presume this has the connotations that I believe it does. You keep what you kill, as I understand it.
Yes.
Then it has been my honor, as always, my lord, to serve you in your endeavors.
How fortunate I am to have such effective allies. Go, return. You're still needed.
And he
There.
will do a half bow, head, like spectral head still being held.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You return to yourself in the square. The three of you are still surrounded, and it's a surreal scene as all of the devils, the various agents of hell, begin to lower their weapons. Jeff
Yeah.
approaches. Hmm. It seems we have a new master. One more powerful.
In Infernal, he is going to, well, first he is going to raise the head,
Mm.
and then he is going to slam the blade down on the ground, and in Infernal he will shout, "Then kneel, damn you! I am your lord now. You will show respect, or you will feel my wrath."
One by one, the maybe 20 or so devils and various agents of hell kneel, lowering their weapons. Mostly at Rannoch, but partially at Kamar and Vesper as well.
I think at that point, return to the inn for now. Stand on guard. Harm none unless I say otherwise. I may have need of you, or I might send you back to the fires.
It is as you
Don't piss
say.
me off in the meantime.
They head upstairs.
He will then turn back to Vesper and Kumar. Hi, I'm Rannoch. What the fuck?
Vesper calls down from his perch on the roof. What the fuck?
Zahir kind of like messes up his curls and kind of says, Kamar's the one with the rapping, but he kind of looks at Vesper for a second and like an apologetic, what the fuck? But he will reach out a hand to you, Rannoch. And it's more of a clasp like this.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than
There's
a
100% a
handshake.
knife there. Like there's the whole reason for like checking to see if there's 100% a knife there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He does that, but he does it as like to pull you in close. Not for like a hug, but just a little bit of trust that he's giving, and he whispers, I hope for my daughter to see many, many mornings that I may not see. You have given me that, and for that, I give you my thanks.
I'm glad. Yes, I'm glad. It's been I haven't been that in, well, it's been a time. You have a lovely family?
A treasure. I don't know your quarrel with the old man, but for you to think of me, a stranger, for you to do that, even if it's for a little moment, even if it was some ridiculous little satisfying moment without even knowing who we are. At least in this city that is very unfamiliar.
Yes, especially the city where I come from. Well, not originally, that's also the city, but have you ever been to Dis? It's terrible this time of year. I will be honest. I, moments ago, had the very pleasurable thought of tasting your blood, and now I feel an intense, eternal, and internal drive to assist you, and that is also a pleasurable thought. So I'm going to keep following that until it stops being a good feeling, and we can go from there.
The here's like resolute face stops and like it's quizzical now because he's like, drink my blood, what? And then his brain stopped and it was like, oh, and he'll unclasp, kind of like very awkward, kind of leaning back on from the ball of his foot back to his heel, just. Well, okay. Vesper, are you gonna stay up there?
I think Vesper's like made his way down. I was gonna ask if I could roll acrobatics to make it look cool, but I'm just gonna assume it looks cool.
It does look cool.
All right, sweet. GM said it looks cool, so yeah, I think he is keeping his distance from the one who he saw drink the blood of the incarnation of the god that he is devout to. So he's just kind of off to the side listening. Probably looking at Rannoch very warily. But to Kamar, or Zahir, I guess, we'll just kind of give him a bewildered sort of look. I would say that sounds too good to be true, but he did just kill Khan, so.
Yeah, I do not I do not know how to feel.
I am also
I
in
do.
that boat.
Zahir gives like a little smile, but at least to Vesper, you see him just like kind of give a hand, and this one is fully like for a shake. I do apologize for his actions. Come on. I mean, putting danger in for his ego. And kind of like just does like a apologetic bow to Vesper.
I think Vesper, excuse me. I think Vesper actually just like kind of waves him off. Listen, it turned out better than I could have ever hoped for. So, neither of you have anything to apologize for.
Oh, I have quite a
should
bit
be
to
said, though.
apologize for. Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. What is your whole deal, by the way? Because you go from like a handsome man to like a burn victim. And you stink of Celestial. I'm sorry. It's pungent.
Is that Vesper who sings the Celestial?
No, that's you.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
you have a
yeah,
Celestial
sorry.
pack, don't you?
No, they kind of like they I asked for a blade and I expected courage. I expected something who would go out and find Khan for me and find my child. I found Kamar. Very antithesis of who I am. He's not very good with words, and he's only here for the fighting.
Well, it's easy to tell the difference, because honestly, a lot of humanoids look very similar to me, and I have to go by color more often than not, and just general movement.
Mm.
So it helps, is what I'm saying.
Yes, he's always in the white linen. Can't unsee him. That's kind of how he is known. As usually when we are out in the streets, people don't really place him as me. He my brain is slowing down, but he goes on to describe like the effect of like Clark Kent and Superman being two very different people, and him having like a persona background. He just like, this is another being to me, but he is my blade.
Well, a blade man, a drow, and in Undercommon he will say, "Nice to meet you. I also like spiders."
I think. Sorry.
That's the common like drow greeting, right? It's like, "Nice to meet you. Spiders are cool, yeah."
Yeah.
Spider. I can't. Vesper responds in Undercommon. I hate spiders.
That's a new one, Renak.
Yeah,
That's a novel.
That is not the standard greeting.
He
Okay,
kind of glares at you.
used to that. Well, again, my name is Renak. I am now a Lord of Dis, the city of Dis, the 666th district, headsman of hell.
Of hell.
Oh, yeah, one of the many. It's still. I mean, I'm. You could say mid-level management at this point.
Mm. Yeah, Vesper and we vacation there. We're not really going back, are we? We're not going back, right?
I wasn't planning on it. No.
Yeah. We
It's
understand.
pretty terrible.
That's fine. You've seen one part. You've seen it all. So,
Congrats on your promotion.
thank you. Unexpected. Who are we killing next?
How much time do you have?
A few eternities, I think. I just got a couple more with the promotion. It's nice. No vacation time, but who needs it?
I got a list for you.
As the three of you continue to make your plans, make your lists, and get acquainted, is there anything else anyone else would like to do before we end tonight's session?
Yes, but I'm taking too much time already. I don't want to.
Do it.
Good.
I dare you.
He's gonna turn to his daughter
Mm,
and kind of go up there and take
Suck
off
it,
his
you.
necklace that has had. It's way too small for him, way too small for his neck, and it was clearly made for a little girl. And he'll kind of crouch down and very cautiously just say, "Hello."
Hello. It's nice to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you too. I think this might be yours.
She looks at you confused, but she takes it.
You see, your mother and your father, when you were they found this beautiful stone and they thought you should be named after it. And you see on the back you started writing, and it's like very like chicken scratch, like a kid scratching on the back, and it just says Jade.
Mm-hmm.
I had it. I thought I should return it.
Did you know my father? Mr. Khan said he wasn't coming back.
He'll look to Jamila to see if He's not a good parent. He's trying his best. He doesn't know parenting. And he's like trying to see if like this is a good moment to even start that. What's on her face?
Mourning, in a way. Relief that certainly that this is the outcome you're in, but mourning certainly that this is the state in which you find yourselves.
They will kind of hold out their hand for Jade to hold his.
Yep, she'll take it. After like Jamila kind of like nods and like, all right, go ahead.
I have been looking for you for a very long time. I did not go away. Mr. Khan was wrong. And with like tears streaming down his face, he's just hello, my sweet one. I have missed you so much. I have missed you so much. But only your father would have your necklace.
She looks at you confused, not quite putting the dots together.
He accepts that, and he knows that this is a child who's, you know. But he holds their hand and raises a hand for Jamila, and like in that little circle, he's whole again.
Sure. As Ranok begins to, at some point or another, tend to his new employees, so to speak. And as Vesper continues to ponder what it means that the incarnation of his god has been killed, you and your family hold hands and make your way down the street. And that's where we're on tonight's session. Good shit, y'all. Sorry, my mouse just died. Anyway, cool. All right, thanks so much for everyone who is watching, for watching our stuff. We're gonna go around one more quick time, talk about who we are, where we can be found on the internet, and just like cool parts of the session that we really liked. I'll go first because I'm already speaking. Hello, my name is Alex. I cannot be found on the internet, but I've had a great time being your elusive GM for this evening. Tonight's session was super cool, and I absolutely loved the interplay between Zahir getting ready for a certain death type fight, and then getting Ranok from off the top rope straight onto Khalil Khan. So everything about that whole like 20 to 30 minute section, brilliant, incredible. And that's all I got.
Why am I last? I'm going to go first. Hi, everybody. I'm Derek, because I'm also going to go last again, because I've got to do the channel stuff. But I want to jump in here real quick and say that I played Ranok this time and next time, and I'm very excited for that. And I'm very appreciative and just honestly so honored to join the amazing game that is Zenith. Don't sleep on it. It's incredible. If you listen to nothing else but this, watch the rest of it. It's so fucking good. I we'll do. I guess I'll do all my plugs and stuff, but I do want to jump in and say that um, my favorite. I have to pick a favorite out of all of this. Um, Mozz, your descriptions of encountering your family, of like reuniting, and also of like the switch of personalities, and damn, that reunite, like the reunion scene with the daughter, so just, oh man, so incredible. That, and just Alex, the way you start these shows too, so good with the man, the monologue you have is, I wish I could do that. It's so incredible, and you set scenes so incredibly well. um yeah, I'll do Sword and Key stuff here at the end, but that's me for now.
I can go quickly before I start crying because this was an amazing episode, Alex. You are incredible. Literally tell me the next time you're having a game. I'm not joking. Anyway, just saluting right now. Anyway, favorite things. This feels so much like the game we wanted, and it's just episode after episode keep getting those themes, and you are amazing at that. The feeling of this urban fantasy and the constant threat or just power dynamic, power shifts, everything is there. um I enjoy the music direction, got me for a surprise. That is one I will say. So many of this is my favorite episode. It will be something that I will literally save and watch on YouTube forever. But that part literally stopped me in my tracks, and I wanted to highlight that, even though it is one amongst many favorite things of this, especially with your GM style and this awesome game. That I thought was really cool. I was at the edge of my seat and I was sitting here playing. Um, and also Renault doing that was Seth and me were just like, this is bad. We're going. They're done. Let's go. I want to say thank you, Derek, for joining this. This was I'm so excited for next week. And um oh my God, there's so many moments. And just Vesper just being like, I'm gonna be here. I've said goodbye to my family. I'm going to take care of them. But this is not what we agreed on. Kind of like so I love that. I love the dynamics between everyone. And very it feels like heroes who have experience, who are going through shit, and it's really, really awesome. So thank you for freaking having me on this. I feel so blessed. I appreciate y'all. Okay, enough. Oh, you can find me everywhere on it's mozzarella or mozzarella. I don't know how to do this now. I need to go decompress. But if you follow me on socials or on Twitch, we do cool stuff, or we run games over at StarCraft RPG. We're doing like a GM roll call for 2025. But we try to make this wonderful, wonderful world easier easier for new players and new GMs to step into it, because we like new stories, and we try to have at least 50% BIPOC at the table, because again, we love wonderful new stories. So yeah, that's where you can find me on other days after I've decompressed. Over to you, Seth.
Oh my God, I felt like you're a fucking news anchor. Like passing it on. I'm just like, thanks for that, mods. Uh, so hi, I'm Seth. I've been Vesper. And I'm not crying, you're crying. This was, I thought last session was my favorite, so I'm just gonna roll it in with this one, and like that was just all one big session essentially of amazingness. I want to say thank you to Derek. We have known each other for a while. We've never been at a table together before Slayers, and this is the first time we've been. Well, I guess we did one-off.
We did do the Horizons Call.
Horizons Call,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
this is like one that wasn't a one-off for me. Like having you at a table. It's fucking great. Always love having you at a table with me. Thank you so much for not killing me. Oh my God, I was just like counting the moments. Really glad that I get to keep playing Vesper instead of making a new character. Alex, the emotional damage you have inflicted upon me in this episode is just it's at a new high. You have done a lot to my characters in the past. I have to rethink some very serious things about my character now, and that's fine, I guess. Um, Mozz, you made a comment a couple in a couple places about like taking up too much space at the table today. Like I was purposely trying to hold back because like this is your character's whole thing. I have absolutely had no problem yielding that time to you. Please don't think that like I'm like salty about not getting screen time. I don't fucking care. The story
Yeah,
was
I just
amazing. Like this is what needed to happen. I'm very happy with the way that it turned out. You made me misty-eyed at the end. I have no notes aside from just like you made this cold, dead heart feel things. Um, I don't know what else to say. I'm all discombobulated. You also can't find me on the internet, so too bad. So there.
Well, what you can find on the internet is Sword and Key. Sword and Key is the stream, or the channel rather, that we run here. I am the sword half of Sword and Key. It's a channel that I started with my partner Eva, and has grown to be so much more, as you can tell by the games that we aren't in regularly. Which just like it doesn't make me mad or anything, but it's definitely the games that are better. So that's something. Yeah, why are you watching Critical Role? Watch this. It's better. Like across the board. You can find all of Sword and Key stuff at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You can find all of our links there. We have our ongoing philanthropic endeavors like this game supporting PCRF. We also have games that are supporting Fauna and Flora International, National Alliance for Mental Illness, Canine Companions for Independence. There are so many, it is the season of giving, and there are so many great organizations you can put your money towards. We check them out, we vet them, you know that you're putting money towards a great cause, and a lot of them, if you donate to them, through our special Tiltify links, you can impact games like this and make things fun and or spicy for the players and or GM. So definitely check that out. You can also find on Beacons our affiliate ships. We are an affiliate with a number of great companies, including recently Hit Point Press, the makers of games like Humblewood and Heckna. And if you use our code, you can get that 10% discount they give to everybody. Plus, you can help us out a little bit too. We also are an affiliate with Wishbone Cosmetics if you're looking to get some makeup from a UK-based, queer-owned, vegan makeup company. We're also affiliates with Eldritch Foundry, which if you were looking to make a custom mini of your character, no matter how weird and wild they happen to be, and want some really cool, unique options, check out Eldritch Foundry. I was just playing around earlier today to make Renok, so I could, because I'm a visual learner, and yeah, pretty good. So, and you don't have to create an account or anything to like see how it works too. So there's an extra bonus there. You can just click on make a character, and they have some really cool stuff. Also on our Beacons, you can join our Discord, hang out with cool people, talk about cool things like games like this. You can also see our applications when they go out first. They're always going to be in Discord first, and then go to our socials like a day later. So if you want to get a jump start on that, we're going to have applications out soon, probably in the new year, for Cursed Captains of Cthulhu, for Mice of Legend, and more. We're looking to feature some games, as well as have some cool stuff just like hanging around. I consistently overwork myself, so eventually I will do a Star Wars game. I will gonna do I've got a list. You can also on Beacons find all of our socials. It's Instagram, Twitter, well, it's still around, Blue Sky, sword _ key for all of them, because putting it all together is I'm not doing that. It's no, we didn't get it in time. We were too late to the game. Other things. Let's look at our calendar real quick, as we have some other cool stuff coming up. It is obviously December. The holidays are nigh upon us, so stuff will be slowing down just a little bit. However, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time, if you are a member of our Discord, which, hey, why not? You can participate in our movie nights. We have free movie nights. Typically, they're every other week, but during December, we are doing weekly double features. So if you've never seen a movie, or if you love a movie, you're welcome to just sit in and watch for free. Completely for free. This week, we are doing kind of the scarier seasonal kind of movies. We're doing the Thing from 1982 and Gremlins. Horizon's Call will be back on Saturday the 14th at 3 p.m. Pacific time. That is our like 4-year ongoing 5e nautical campaign that I run. And then Humblewood will be back on Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That's the 15th. As Humblewood Yonderbound, second season of our Humblewood game, because I can never commit to just 12 episodes, and my players easily bully me into more. So we're coming back after like a couple of month hiatus, but hey, time is important. And we're jumping right back in headfirst into some really cool stories. So if you haven't caught up on that, there's still time to catch up on it. And that'll be 10 a.m. Pacific time. And that game in particular is in support of Fauna and Flora International. On the 16th, we have Journey to Book's End at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. That's Monday. That'll be the last game kind of before the holidays. So, get your Journey to Book's End fix while you can. And then Zenith will be back next week, same time, same wonderful place. And then we'll be taking the day after Christmas off. So we'll be off the 26th. We have more stuff coming up. I'm not going to just overload you with everything. The last thing I'll tell you is that Night of Fright, originally October, like it's Night of Fright 2 Part 2, got rescheduled to the 29th. But I will update you about that as we get closer to it. But you can check that out. That's still in support of Nami. And I believe our Woodland Gods one-shot got rescheduled into January. But I'll update you once we have a firm date on that. Also, I guess just throw it out there, part of the Sword and Key production family is a wonderful podcast called Monster Crush. It is a podcast you can find wherever podcasts are found. It is one that I do with my friend LD, as we are both of the monster loving community. I will put it out there. And it is about cryptids, creatures, miscellaneous monsters from myth, how smoochable they happen to be, how cuddly they happen to be. We just had Haunted Doll episode come out, and my sound quality is not ideal on that, but it's still a fun episode, so give it a check out. We have a ton of other episodes where I sound a lot better too, so if monsters are your thing, we're actually going to have, I think, like our first actual Christmas episodes coming out the 22nd. We have to talk about Krampus. We've never done it in like 3 years. It's never happened. I know. So you can look for that wherever podcasts are found. That is it for Sword and Key. Thank you so much. Alex, please.
All right, and I think with that, that's all we got for tonight. So we'll catch y'all later. Catch y'all next week. And yeah, that's all we got. Bye, y'all.